Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Christina, and in today's video is what I'm really excited for, and it's about DIY canvas artwork. And I am someone who is not artistic, does not come naturally, but I really wanted to get mostly restoration hardware inspired pieces in my home, but for much less, because the restoration hardware artwork ranges from like $1,000 up to like $5,000 or $6,000, which in my opinion is a little pricey, and at least for me, I didn't want to spend that much. Several videos ago, I did a video where I thrifted canvas art from my local thrift store, and I had this idea where I could do this myself. I just will take an old canvas, or you could buy a new canvas, and you paint over it and give it a clean slate. So I tend to like neutral. I wanted to wear bright colors in today's video to show that I'm not anti-color all the time, especially because all the artwork that I'm making is black and white. This one behind me is the first one that I did, and I'll show some close-ups of it and me making it. But it was just some artwork I found at my local thrift store, and this one I just spray painted it white. It came out a little bit too white, so then I made it a little bit warmer with some creamy white color paint. And then I literally copied this restoration artwork piece, which is actually huge, about 5.5 feet tall by like 4.5 feet wide. It's a really tall piece. And I just basically copied it. And as I've been doing these artwork pieces, I sort of have started to feel inspired and do my own thing. But to start off, I kind of just started by copying. So that's what I did for the first one. And then I kind of started enjoying it. I kind of like to go escape into my garage and paint and kind of discover things. There's a few times when I did this and I didn't like what came out. A couple times I would start on a canvas and I didn't like how it turned out, and all you have to do is just repaint over it. So, I mean, at some point I'm sure the canvas would get like pretty thick if you just kept painting over it and over it again, but you can certainly do it a couple times. So the paint I used was matte paint from my local art store. I went to Michael's, and they also sell canvases there. And I did find matte paint if I could, if it specified. And as I kind of got into this, I tried a couple different mediums of type of painting, and I found this like mixing agent that made it spread easier and have a longer drying period, but it also made the paint color more glossy. I didn't like how that turned out, at least for what I was looking for, but that just sort of took some trial and error, which it was kind of fun to try different things out. Then I also tried pastels. I had no idea really how they worked, so again, it just was kind of fun playing around. So for me, it was just kind of fun testing all the different ways to do artwork. That's about as far as I've ventured thus far. So the next pieces I did were these two white pieces with these like small little black markings in them. It kind of reminds me of like when you look in a petri dish and you'll see linear bacterium. So I thought that was kind of fun. So then I had these two canvases, and I bought tile adhesive and like a little spatula, and I used that to sort of add texture, make it a little more interesting. I just kind of went with this one. This was one where I did something at first. I didn't really like how it turned out, so I repainted over it white, but I thought it was too bland, just white. So I thought I'll just add a little bit of these black lines with it. So these two with the white base and the texture and the black lines using the pastels, those I used a protective coating to make sure that the pastels just didn't keep smudging. And I'm planning to put these two like right up next to each other in my guest room, and they're really large sized, which I like. So I would definitely say go a little bit bigger, because that will make more of a statement in your spaces. And then I bought black frames to go around these, so that way they look a little bit more professional, a little bit more intentional, much more higher end looking. So love, love, love how those turned out. And I might even get like a picture light. I'm still deciding. So I really love how those turned out. I think the frames just made it look that much more high-end. It makes it cost a little bit more because frames for a big canvas kind of get a little pricey, but I really love how those turned out and still budget friendly if you're comparing it to the restoration hardware prices. So this next piece I worked on, again, it's a really oversized canvas. This one had flowers on it originally, and they were kind of embossed, like raised where the flowers were, and I was trying to get rid of that texture. I didn't want it to look like flowers when I painted over it. So I added more of that tile adhesive, kind of like a plaster, to smooth it out and to give it its own texture. And then I decided to paint that one black, but I kind of mixed in a charcoal color. One was like a really, really dark gray, and I mixed those all together. And then I took a sponge, and I wanted a little bit more contrast, but I wanted it to look really black on the perimeter. And I added in kind of an off-white creamy color with a sponge in the middle. And this one looks very similar to a Potterybarn painting, and I believe a restoration hardware painting as well, but for dollars, not very much money. So I love how you can just be creative with what you want to do, and even if they don't turn out exactly how you want, I love how you can just paint over it again, or you can go get another canvas and keep trying. And I'm really kind of getting into this art thing. I'm still clueless. I still don't know what I'm doing, but it's kind of an enjoyable way to kind of relax. I'll put on like a podcast and just listen while I paint. So if you're wanting to be creative or just get that look for less, I definitely suggest this as an option. Keep a lookout for more art videos from me if you liked this one, and let me know what you think. Did you like how these turned out? Would you try this, or are you just like, I like to buy my artwork? But sometimes it's fun to kind of be creative yourself, and you can save some money. Please consider subscribing if you liked this video and want to see more content from me, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.